Hello, I'm Robert, fact checker and science blogger, and helping people who are scared of things. And this time, it's people who are scared of the anniversary of the killing of Soleimani and on 3rd of January, and they're worried that something might happen. So, first of all, the United States is not building up to an attack on Iran. They're doing the opposite. The B-52 bombers, they've withdrawn them from the region. They've taken the Nimitz aircraft carrier and it's going back towards its home port. They're definitely not building up to a major attack on Iran. And Iran do not want to attack the United States. Iran has been waiting for over a year for a new president. They've been hoping against hope for a new president because they want to remain within the Iran nuclear deal. In fact, it's not often explained, but Iran actually, they are a strong proponent for a nuclear-free Middle East, along with Saudi Arabia. They both supported the treaty to ban all nuclear weapons. They haven't actually signed this treaty and they haven't, of course, ratified it because they want Israel to do something about its nukes first. But that's their long-term aim. And so they've only just edged little by little dealing with increasing the amount of enriched civil reactor fuel, and they haven't gone above the level of enrichment that you use for high enriched civil reactor fuel. And they've been very careful that everything they've done has been reversible. So Iran is not, they don't want to make a nuke. They're a very long way away from it, at least months away from it. And so they're just waiting for Biden to come back. And if you look at what Biden says, then from his manifesto, it's not at all surprising. Biden supports the Iran deal because he was involved in negotiating it originally. It was negotiated by the Obama-Biden administration. And the Biden, along with all the other partners in Russia, China, I can't remember the other ones, Germany, I think, all the other partners in the Iran deal are in agreement that Iran has complied with it. And the weapons inspectors are still in Iran. And so they can check everything. So Biden wants to return to the deal, and Iran wants to return to the deal. And it seems very likely there may be a fair bit of talk before it actually happens, but that's their opportunity, which they've been wanting to do for a long time, ever since Trump withdrew from it. So there's no way that they're going to do something rash in the next 3 weeks. And although Iran, they're very quick to anger, they are very slow to actually act. So whether they do something on the 3rd of January, but they're not going to do something that's going to anger the United States and jeopardize their chances of a deal. And when a top Iranian nuclear scientist was assassinated a few weeks back, then Rouhani said, he said that this barbaric assassination shows that our enemies are in stressful weeks, so he's referring to Trump there, during which they feel their pressure declining, the global situation changing. The nation in Iran is smarter than to fall into the trap of a conspiracy set by Zionists. So that's how they see it. And they see it as being, they saw that attack, which was not by the United States, probably by Israel. They saw it as being Israel trying to goad them to respond back and to jeopardize their chances of staying within the Iran deal, because Israel is one of the few who don't want them to stay in the Iran deal. So the Iranian President Rouhani, he sees a quick return to the situation before Trump withdrew from the Iran deal if the US also wants that. He said Iran and the US can decide and announce they will return to conditions on January 20, 2017, that's the date that Trump withdrew. And this can be a great solution to a large number of issues and completely change the path and conditions. So he's just saying that two countries could decide to roll back the last 4 years and return. Sorry, the date that Donald Trump was inaugurated as president, not the date that he withdrew from the deal. Yeah, so they say they could just roll back the past 4 years to the date that Donald Trump was inaugurated as president. And as regards the Iran-US situation, and the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, he expressed a different view. He says that Iran will choose the path of diffusing sanctions and overcoming them. So basically he's saying that Iran needs to demonstrate they're not affected at all by the sanctions. So, but whatever, so he may take a somewhat more hard-line attitude towards Biden, but we'll just see what happens. But either way, they want to negotiate with Biden, and Biden wants to negotiate with them. And so there's no way that they're going to do anything before then that will jeopardize this. It doesn't make sense. And the president is very keen, the Iranian president is very keen to just snap back very quickly. So it's a question of whether they do that quickly or slowly. That's where they're headed. And Trump, he pledged not to start any major new wars, and he kept to that pledge. And he's not likely to change that in the last 3 weeks of his presidency. And he seems mainly preoccupied with continuing to fight what I would describe as his long-lost election campaign. Even Mitch McConnell, leader of the Republicans in the Senate, agrees that Biden has won. He congratulated him on the 14th of December, as that was the date at which, or it was the 14th or 15th, I can't remember, but the date at which all possible legal challenges had to be completed, according to law. After that, you can't have any more legal challenges of the election. And that's why Trump is now focusing on trying to get Congress to overturn it by a vote in Congress. There's no way that's going to happen either, because the Democrats have the majority in the House, and then including the Republicans, including Mitch McConnell, who will definitely vote against changing, definitely vote in favour of accepting electoral college votes. Then there's no way that they can even have it in the Senate, and they need both the Senate and the House to vote to overturn the electoral college votes for particular states. So when it comes to the 6th, then there's going to be these people protesting. We've got Josh Hawley in the Senate, so they are going to have to recess for 2 hours and debate it, and then they're going to vote. But the outcome of the vote is absolutely, there's no doubt about what the outcome of the vote will be. And it could have an influence going forward on future elections, that there might be more requirements, for instance, maybe photo ID for postal votes or something in more states. But it's not going to make any difference to this election. And then these are my simple answers to why Iran can never start a World War III with the United States. I mean, all sorts of reasons. The United States is far stronger than Iran. There's no way that Iran is going to attack the United States. It doesn't even trying. It's intentionally limited its missiles, so they can't reach the United States. But even though the United States is much stronger than Iran, Iran is no walkover, and the United States can't invade Iran. Not with something probably even bigger than the Vietnam War. And there's no military objective, and they don't have any factions in Iran that would support them, and they would have people behind their front lines, the militants in neighbouring countries who would be against them. It just is totally unfeasible that the United States is even contemplating an invasion of Iran. I'm sure they never did. Not the military generals, who are the ones who would have to lead it. So, and nobody else would join in on either side in a war like that. NATO wouldn't support the United States, and Russia wouldn't support Iran. It's just not going to happen. So, anyway, that's that is never a possibility. And then this is one I've already done a video about that, about what Biden's presidency will mean for nuclear disarmament is likely to make the world a safer place in many ways. And it's actually a coming together of things, because there are other things around the world. For instance, the treaty on 2 days after Biden's inauguration, the treaty to ban all nuclear weapons is going to come into force. Now, that's not obviously the nuclear powers are not going to abide by that treaty, but the 50 countries that have signed it are already, they've committed they're never going to develop nuclear weapons ever. And pretty much the entire southern hemisphere is a nuclear-free zone, and this is the countries that don't have nuclear weapons telling the rest of the world, we don't feel any safer with nuclear weapons, please get rid of them. So that's quite a strong thing that's coming from the non-nuclear states. They made a very clear, strong statement that they want the nuclear weapons removed completely from the entire world. And so we have a strong momentum going next year in that direction towards nuclear disarmament, and Biden has a long-term history of advocating very strongly for fast nuclear disarmament. So he will certainly be pushing in that direction, and we'll just see how it goes. But it certainly looks like a situation where we're heading towards more action on nuclear disarmament rather than less as we go into Biden's presidency.